got a question for you. Do you buy a winter running shoe, a specific shoe for these winter months that are coming our way? My answer to that question is yes, I do. And in this video, I'm going to tell you which shoe I've just purchased out of my own money for the winter running months. And I'm going to tell you why I buy that winter running shoe every year. Okay, so like I said, I buy a winter running shoe, new pair, every year, and there's 3 reasons why I do that. Firstly, I need a pair of shoes that I can wear to work that my feet aren't going to get soaked in the early mornings when I have to walk to the station. The second reason is I need a pair of shoes that's going to keep my feet warm and dry during the winter months when I'm coaching. And the third and final reason, and probably the most important, is I want a pair of shoes when it's absolutely chucking it down, or it's cold, or it's a little bit sketchy underneath foot. I need a very good winter running shoe for those colder days when I'm doing those daily miles in my winter marathon training. Now, if you go back over the channel, you'll see that every year I bought a different shoe. And this year is no different. I've got myself a new style, a new pair of winter running shoes that I've already been running in because it's been wet and horrible over here in the UK. And like I said, in this video, I'm going to tell you all about this shoe because I think this is one of the best winter running shoes you might want to get if, like me, you need a shoe or want a shoe for those winter months. So this is the shoe that I was pulling out last year in the depths of winter, in those autumn months as well, leading up to winter and then into spring. This is the shoe that got me through those months, and you can see hopefully the GORE-TEX shoe, actually it's bigger on there, look. But anyway, this was the Supernova from Adidas, and it featured the Dream Strike midsole, but look at the outsole on this thing. It was an absolute beast, and there's still loads of wear and tear to come on this shoe. But despite that, I still treated myself to a new pair, but not of these. I got myself these, the Salomon Blaze 3 Gravel GORE-TEX. Now, I really like the Salomon Aero Glide, and that's why basically I bought the Blaze. So like I said, this is an important shoe for me, and I appreciate not everybody wants a winter running shoe or winter specific running shoe, but I have already seen some comments about GORE-TEX shoes and stuff like that on the channel and on the live stream that we do at 8 o'clock on a Monday. And like I said, this thing has already been used and abused in these autumn months that we are in. So before we go any further, let's dive into the stats and features. Let me tell you what's going on with the Blaze GORE-TEX, or the Blaze 3 GORE-TEX. So the Salomon Blaze 3 Gravel GORE-TEX is £145. It's got a waterproof GORE-TEX upper. This is a UK 9.5 and it fits true to size. It's actually a really nice fit. We've got the Optifoam Squared, or Optifoam 2, running the full length of the midsole. The shoe has 35mm stacked down to 27. That's an 8mm drop. And just to give you a reference, the Aero Glide, which I absolutely love, has 42 down to 34, so it's a little bit less. We've got the Contour Grip outsole. The shoe weighs 292 grams, which is very impressive. And like I said, it's a UK 9.5 and it does fit true to size. Right, let's take a closer look. So here is our Optifoam 2, which is really nice and really responsive. I absolutely love this foam. It reminds me of like the old Triumph from Saucony, back like 21 version. It's a really great, comfortable, easy to get on with foam. Here's this Contour Grip outsole, and apparently they were inspired by gravel bikes for this outsole, but I have to say it's extremely impressive, the outsole on this shoe. It works both well on road and on those sort of fire paths, gravelly sections that I also run on. But I've worn this, for example, in London when it's been a wet day, and I've had no problems with it. The lockdown and lacing is very good. The comfort in the heel and the tongue is great. So here's our waterproof GORE-TEX upper, which as you'd expect is on the warm side. But as the temperatures continue to fall, that's not going to be an issue. Like on the Aero Glide, there's plenty of room in the toe box, and they actually do like a white version of this, which I wish I'd got now, but I've got the black ones because, as I say, I wear them to work. But there's a white version of this, and it looks absolutely cracking. Okay, so let's get into performance, shall we? So like I said, this is a daily trainer for me. It needs to be able to do everything. It needs to come out when it's raining. It needs to be able to take me to work. It needs to do everything that I would expect from a daily trainer, right? And this absolutely nails all of those bits. Like I said, the outsole is phenomenal on this thing. The upper's great, keeps your foot dry. The comfort's on point. And what's really surprising is how light and bouncy the shoe feels, despite it almost being road to trail-ish. 292 grams this shoe is, and it doesn't feel that. I've got to give it massive kudos because it feels a lot lighter and I say a lot more energetic on foot than it looks. Because when you look at it, it basically looks like a trail shoe. But this foam is great. It really is. I can't emphasize how good the Aero shoes, the Blaze and the Aero Glide, they're just phenomenal daily trainers for normal people. Salomon have done a really good job with both of these shoes this year. Now this is the gravel version, so this is that sort of road to traily version. Obviously then you've got the Gore-Tex element to this, but they do the gravel version of this without the Gore-Tex. So if the Gore-Tex upper is not something for you, but you want something with a little bit more tread, so I want you to think of, like, do you remember the Nova Blast TR? Then this is probably the way to go. I think this is much better than the Nova Blast TR. And I simply put that down to this foam that's in this shoe. It really is a great ride. Really nice bounce back, really smooth, quite energetic when you put the pace in on it. And I've taken this shoe long. I did a 15-mile long run in this shoe and it was absolutely fantastic. And I don't think necessarily this is designed to go that long, you know. This is, like I said, a daily trainer, but you know, it needs to be able to do a bit of everything if you're going to get some value from it over the winter months, especially if you're like into marathon training or half marathon training. That's why I wanted to make the video as well, because I think as we go into these winter months, if you're looking for a shoe to get you through some of those darker, wet, horrible days that you've got to do, then this is definitely one to consider to put into the rotation. So in terms of likes and dislikes, we're actually only going to do likes today because I don't have any dislikes. I like it's waterproof, I like the comfort, I like the width in the toe box. I absolutely love this outsole, and of course I love this midsole. I don't mind £145. I'm absolutely blown away by the weight. I think at 292 grams in this UK 9.5, I think it's brilliant. In the white colourway, I think this looks absolutely cracking. And lastly, I like the Salomon are making really good running shoes. So look, we're going to wrap this up, okay? I think a winter running shoe is quite nichey, right? And like I said, let me know in the comments, is that something that you pull the trigger on? Is it something you need? But if you're like me and you've got a specific purpose for that winter running shoe, and like I said, I've got 3 specific reasons, then I don't think you can actually beat this. And if Gore-Tex is not your thing because your feet get hot or whatever, or you think it's a bit overkill, then check out the Blaze Gravel without the Gore-Tex. It's a phenomenal shoe, people. So there we go, people. That's my winter running shoe this year. Hopefully you've seen some of the videos we've done on winter running shoes on this channel. So we do one every year basically, because I go out and I get a shoe myself for those winter months. It's really an important one for me. You know, like I said, I'm out there coaching. I need something that's going to keep my foot a little bit dry. I want something that's going to hang on those wet, horrible days when I've got to get out there and I've got to get some mileage done. You know, I don't mind my feet getting wet and all that sort of stuff. If I've got a specific session that I'm going to do and all that kind of stuff, that's great. But if I've just got like miles I need to collect, then I'm going to wear the Blaze Gravel Gore-Tex for those, you know, 3, 4, 8 mile runs that I need to get done. And that's why it's an important shoe for me. Okay team, so if you found this video useful, please hit that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. But that's it from me. I shall catch you all later.